Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about another important technique. So let's get started. So the next important technique is Balanced Scorecard. So what is Balanced Scorecard? Balanced Scorecard is nothing but you have some kind of like 4 different dimensions for getting a score, and then based upon that we can use any kind of planning or for any kind of project, right? Like how we can go ahead and execute that project. Okay, so what are the 4 different kind of dimensions? One is on a learning perspective, okay, on a growth perspective. The next is like on a business process perspective, and then we are going to consider customer and financial perspectives too. So let's see what is this. So for any project, a business, and I mean this is not like only for a business analyst, this is like as a project as a whole, right? It's even from a project manager point of view or as a team, we have to consider all the perspectives. Okay, so let's go one by one. What is like financial perspective? So for example, for any project we need budget. Okay, we need like we need to know the project can be completed within a certain amount of budget, right? So how are we going to successfully, like financially, we are going to like complete this project within a certain budget? So first of all, from a financial perspective, right, what is the funding required for that particular project, and in order to achieve that funding, right, what can be done, and what are the what are the limitations, okay, in a particular project? Like if there is only, like for example, let's say a project is just 1 million, okay, so you have a budget of $1 million. So within that $1 million, if you want to achieve, right, now we have to ask the business owners. They want to automate, like business owners can automate they want to automate a large number of functionality, but from as a business analyst, right, is it possible? Like you need to like ask them, the stakeholders, what's the priority. So in our team we have like about 5 developers, 5 testers, and they are being built in a large they are being built like hourly, right? So based upon like how much our team gets paid, and also like the other cost. Okay, so if there are multiple teams working, what is the billing for other projects? And if there's a scrum master, product owner, their billing also will be calculated. So overall, like how many people will be working in this project, and depending upon that you can give a rough estimate. If you get a high level requirements, you can always give a rough estimate of how much it will take, and then the business has to prioritize within that budget, like what are the requirements they want to automate, right? They want the whole application, they want all the requirements to get automated, to be done. But if they have like a very limited amount of budget, right, in that case we have to define like what's the priority, which functionality they want to get automated. So that will come. So we need to tell to our stakeholders or shareholders or anybody or a project manager, like what's the at least the minimum budget required, and within like what amount of budget this functionality can be achieved. Because in reality what will happen is a 1 million project the business owners keep on adding requirements, and we keep on start developing, and we again give an estimation, and then the budget will be increased from 1 million to $5 million. We never know, quickly all the money can be consumed by the developers and testers and all the project people, and we have external vendors. So it could happen. So like a proper planning is needed. Okay, for any kind of project a proper planning is needed. I won't say this is exactly only a business analyst responsibility. This will be done by a project manager level, but you have to always give from your side. You can also give feedback to them, like how many people will be required for this project, and how long it will take, and what will be the estimates and everything. Next is internal business process. Okay, so To satisfy our shareholders, customers, what business processes like we must excel at. So whenever we are working on a project, right, we should always set up protocols. We have to find standard process, and we need to say this is how we do the development, this is how we do the testing, this is what the documents is required from the business owners, this is what we like. You have to give them like exact protocols that you're following for any particular project, and like what kind of standards you're following internally. Okay, so because in most of the times the business owners are non-technical people, they have no idea about how IT is happening, and they just think like, okay, automate this functionality. I need a web application, or like I need to automate that functionality, this functionality. They may throw you like large number of ideas where they will not know in order to achieve that, like from an IT perspective, like how it will take, okay, how long it will take to achieve a functionality, how it needs to be tested, what kind of coordination is needed from the business owners. So they may not know. Okay, so we have to like, as a business analyst, like you have to definitely write down like what are the standard process you follow, okay, for creating a BRD, or for doing any kind of testing, or doing any kind of development, or to submit an intake request in JIRA, and to get the funding approval, or if there are change in requirements, what is the change control process we need to follow. Everything, like you need to have standard documents, and everything should be standardized, and it should be given to them, so that it's much easier for you and also for the business. And in order to achieve that, right, and also how will we sustain our ability to change and improve? So learning and growth, so that is also there. So learning and the growth, in the sense, for example, here they've given, it includes employee training, learning, product and service innovation, corporate culture, metrics like training funds, mentoring, knowledge sharing, and technology improvements. For example, when a particular project is being started, it may be started with some kind of technology. Okay, today, let's say that today it's being started in Java. Okay, and now maybe in future, right, we have to upgrade it to maybe a different technology, or maybe a different version. So that's like a constant learning, and also we need to teach that like to the business owners too. For example, today the UI is in a particular format, and maybe after 2 years it needs to be very user friendly, it needs to be in a different format. So that involves like lot of collaboration with the business owners and with the IT team. So business owners and IT team has to learn a lot. Okay, we also has to learn about all the domains, and also all the business like terminologies, what they're following, and business owners has to learn about the IT functionalities too, like in order to achieve a functionality, like how long it will take, and what's the process we follow, and how they need to coordinate with us for regular testing and everything. So in order to achieve like collaborative for a project to be very successful, right, it involves a lot of constant learning, mentoring, and also sharing knowledge also. So for that, right, we have to consider all that. So when you start a project, when you write down the requirements, you have to like basically understand that how can we learn from that project. Okay, as a team, how can we learn from that project? What are the mistakes we can avoid? And if we have done mistakes, right, how to recorrect those mistakes, and how to make sure that doesn't happen in the next project. All that we need to take into an account. Next is what is customer's dimension. So customer satisfaction, without customer there is no business, right? So IT can develop any kind of project and functionality, but in order to that to be very successful, we need customers, right? So customer focus, customer satisfaction, and delivery of value, that is very, very, very important. Any product which has quality will always be accepted by the customer. So quality comes first, and then also we need to like make sure the customer needs are met. Okay, they are satisfied with our products. For any kind of IT project, you see, any kind of application, we need to make sure that the customer really like their needs are met, and overall their experience with that particular project needs to be I would say it should be excellent. Okay, whenever we are launching an application, whenever we are creating something in a new product in IT, right, usually the customers will first initially whatever from a practical experience, they will be saying that this is not user friendly. Okay, they will definitely say that this is not user friendly, this is very complicated, where should I click that button, where should I click this button, how should I move to the next page? So because customers are not related, they are not from IT background, okay, they are general people, they are not from IT background. You create a complicated front end and you give it to them, they will not be able to navigate. Okay, for example, take Facebook. Okay, their front end is very, very, very easy. Anybody who knows how to read English can log in. It's very, very simple. Okay, they can log in, create an account, and then they can create friends and all that. So it's their front end is very, very, very easy. Same way you go to Apple, see their website. It's very clean. It's a very sleek design. Anybody can go and then choose the products and then they can check out. So usually in IT, right, we want customers experience to be like very, very easy for them. Only then they're going to come back and again buy products again and again. Okay, so if there are no customers, it means that your product is a failure. Okay, if you want to increase customers, the first thing is quality. If there is quality, people are going to come. Okay, then the next is like overall with experience, right? It must be user friendly. When it comes to IT, it must be user friendly. Any kind of application that you create for the business owners, it must be very, very, very user friendly. Okay, and so that dimension you have to keep in mind whenever you're designing a project. When a new project comes to you as a business analyst, you have to think like, how can we make user friendly for the customers? Next is the financial dimension. I already told you, we have to think about economic value and like revenue growth. And if you do a project for 1 million and you don't have customers to use that, then that's a failure, right? You do a project for 1 million, the expectation is you get 20 or 30 millions out of it. That's the expectation. Okay, so from a financial perspective, of course, it's not only a business analyst decision, this will be from a leadership too. But from your side, you can always tell them like, how can we achieve in a less cost, or how can we achieve, or what is a better solution for that functionality. Okay, that you need to tell them. And next one is, what are the two basic types of indicators? Okay, lagging indicators, and then lagging indicators that provide actions already taken, and leading indicators. What does a lagging means? So leading means that provide information about future performance. Lagging means it's all we have already done in the past and then we know how it will work. So that is lagging indicators and leading indicators. So whenever you are in during the elicitation session, business owners, they'll be asking you, have you like done this earlier? Like, have you done this functionality earlier? Okay, so if you have already done that, you can always say that yes, we have done same kind of functionality for a different project. We know what are the pros and cons of that functionality. So we can always indicate some examples. So that is a lagging indicator. Whereas leading indicator is you are like talking from a future perspective. So you can say that now you are automating like 1 or 2 markets. In future, you can automate all the 50 markets. Or now you are automating like 1 language. In future, you can automate like maybe 10, 12 languages. So that's from a future perspective you're telling. Okay, I'm just telling for an example. So both these indicators are very, very, very useful. As a business analyst, it will be really useful to convince the business owners when you're going for the design part. So what are the strengths and limitations? So when I'm using this balanced scorecard, so when you consider all these 4 dimensions and you are creating like a scorecard, okay, you are using all the taking everything into account, and you are creating you're using this as a tool or a measure to tell to the business. Okay, so once they see, when you take all these perspectives into account and when you show it to the business, sometimes you may have limitations, and sometimes like it could be a positive influence. For example, when you use a balanced scorecard, when you take all these perspectives into account, one is like, this is like a holistic approach. Okay, you are considering all the factors. Okay, and you are just planning even before you start a project, you're considering all the factors. So this is a very good approach, I would say. And also you are also thinking about, and from operational team perspective, right, how it will be done, because you're also like thinking about finances, right? So that is directly like proportional to like operational teams, like what will be their effort, how long it will take for a story to be completed, how many hours they have to log in, and how much budget is needed. So that is like a positive way of thinking, and because that will be a more successfully you can complete the project within that particular budget. Nobody is hurt. You need not answer to project manager why there is a delay or why the budget is being like why there additional funds are needed and all that. So those are like strengths. Limitations is like sometimes if you don't have those dimensions, like if you don't know exactly what you want, or if the business owner doesn't know exactly what they want, that time it can be like really difficult for you to actually write down what. If you know like what are the process for business process, fine, you're writing it down. But if you don't know, okay, then you're stuck in this circle of like measurement, and you don't know, you don't have clarity. Okay. And then so that's what they're saying, lack of clear strategy makes very difficult for these dimensions to align. And then this can be a single tool for strategic planning other than one tool for strategic, like to all the strategic tools. So we can say that people think that this is an alternative to strategic planning, execution, measurement, but this is not like only one tool. There are other strategic plans tools as well. So usually people will think like, okay, I'm considering all the four different dimensions. Now we are done. Okay, there are multiple other dimensions too. We have to take that into consideration too. Okay, so that's what they're saying here. They're saying that this can be easily misrepresented or misinterpreted as a replacement for other measurements, but we should not do that. Okay, this is just one of the techniques. So balanced scorecard is just like one of the techniques which is used by the business analyst, or we can be used by the project managers as well to like while gathering the requirements. Okay, so that all the requirements are written down in a very clear way, and so that the entire project itself is very successful. I hope this video is helpful. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.